welcome. Thank you for the lovely introduction. And it is a pleasure and an honor to be with all of you here today. And it is so great to see so many of my longtime Feng Shui friends and clients and family. And you have all been on my mind and in my heart, and I have been holding the space for wellness for you and your family and for all of us to emerge from this with grace. And to the new people, I want to say welcome. And there is a lot to say about the year of the rat. And before we begin though, I would actually like to begin by doing a little bit of meditation. I always open all of my Feng Shui classes with a little bit of meditation, and the energy of the year of the rat actually calls for saying we need to ground, we need to meditate. So I would like to take a couple minutes where we will do that together. And what I invite you to do is get very, very comfortable in your seat. I am sitting here in my emperor chair, and I like to sit upright when I meditate. And I like to put my, oops, did I lose you all? Let me see, hold on a second. I just lost my screen, give me a moment. Okay, there you all are. Okay, so I like to put my feet on the ground, sit upright, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin by holding up my little tingsha bells. And my tingsha bells, I'm going to ring them, and that's going to lead us into the meditation. And then at the very end of the meditation, I will ring them again, and you'll know that that's time to come back. So in my opinion, there's not a right or a wrong way to meditate. Here we go. Oh, one other thing I want to say. When I meditate, I typically like to meditate with my eyes closed, but you can certainly keep your eyes open, whatever you're comfortable with, okay? So here we go. Okay, so I'd like you again to sit upright in your chair and feel your feet firmly planted on the ground. I like to have at least begin by having my hands upright on my lap. Sometimes they move around a little bit when I meditate. And I'd like you to join me by taking one deep breath in. Let's breathe in together. And exhale. Just letting go any of the morning and what led you here today, whether you are happy and excited or feeling a little bit of the pressures of the day, just let that go. And now I'd like you to imagine a beautiful white light above your head. And I'd like you to imagine that this beautiful white light is like a spotlight, or you could say a beam of light coming down from the heavens. And this beautiful white light is beaming into the top of your head. And you could maybe see it, or you're feeling it, or you're imagining it. But just open yourself up to this beautiful cleansing light now pouring into your head space and swirling around and clearing any thoughts out of your mind, whether they're excited or filled with to-dos or whatever that is. Just let it go. And imagine this beautiful white light is now gracing down over your face and over your ears and over the back of your neck. And now it's gracing down over your shoulders. And it's just pouring now down over your chest and the back of your upper back, and just cleansing and clearing out any cobwebs and uplifting and brightening you up. And imagine this is now going down around your stomach area, that spot we call the solar plexus. Again, just clearing out any little something that we're feeling there. And imagine this beautiful white light, or see it or feel it, is now going and gracing down over your hips and over your thighs. And now, like a waterfall, it's going down over your knees and cascading down over your shins and your calves. And imagine now, or see or feel, this beautiful white light is kind of like pooling around your feet. And imagine as if that beautiful white light is now burrowing into the floor beneath you, and it's going deep, deep, deep into the earth and kind of coiling around and anchoring like roots of a tree. And you're starting to feel that pull, that groundingness coming from your feet. And I want you to take a deep breath in and feel, as you're taking that deep breath in, that beautiful white light is coming and supporting you from that heavens, that space above, to way down in the earth, just uplifting you in your energy. So let's take a deep breath into that. And exhale. I'd like you now to imagine a beautiful pink loving bubble going around yourself. And it's a beautiful light pink, kind of like the color of a rose quartz crystal for my gemstone lovers out there. And rose quartz crystal is the color of love and compassion, and that's what rose quartz resonates with. So we're putting ourselves in this loving and compassionate bubble here for our next little bit of time together today. And I want you to breathe into that beautiful pink, protective, loving bubble for yourself. Let's breathe in. And exhale. And now I'd like you to imagine or see it or feel it. And I'm putting my hands over my heart just to acknowledge it. So right here over our chest in our heart space, I'd like you to imagine or see or feel a very deep, beautiful emerald green color. In the chakra system, we would say this is the color for the heart chakra. And healing, we may think of it as being a healing color. I want you to breathe into that beautiful, enriching and filling deep green for your beautiful heart. Let's breathe into that. And exhale. And now I'd like you to take a few moments with me to connect into the energy and the resonance of this beautiful group that is gathered here this afternoon. And even though we are apart by distance, here we are connecting through a new vehicle. Just take a moment to be present with this beautiful, connective, collective energy and acknowledge that. And let's breathe in that beautiful, collective, connective energy together. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you. Good for me, good for you. So Feng Shui is the ancient art and science of placement. And it's a process to create balance and to harmonize the energies of your home with the natural world. And it has similar principles to acupuncture and Qigong and Tai Chi. And we are currently in the year of the rat, and there is a lot to be said for the year of the rat. And first of all, the rat is a period of new beginnings, and it is a time for a whole new cycle. And wherever the animal sign is for the year, it can kind of create a bit of a rumble. And what a rumble it has been. But one of the key words that I want to share with you for the year is compassion. And it's compassion in the year of the rat. And it's compassion wherever the animal sign resides. And the rat resides in the north. So the north in Feng Shui relates to our career, our job, our work, we'd say our life's path and our journey. So the first bit of compassion that we're talking about is with ourselves and the changes and the shifts, how that's impacting our livelihood and what we do and how we show up and, again, continue on that path in the world. But it's also compassion for others and compassion for our colleagues who many of us have been working now with at a distance. And it's also compassion for each other, knowing that collectively we are all going through this and it's creating these shifts and these changes on our path. And it's also compassion and newfound gratitude for many people with honoring our frontline workers and being grateful for the service that they are showing up and giving in the world. And one of the things that I find really powerful and what I've been observing and experiencing with what I consider, compassionate connection and socialization in this, stay at home, social distancing, movement, if you will, is all the different ways that people have been going out of their way to connect. And when I say that's interesting to me as a Feng Shui practitioner, because the rat is considered to be a very, very social creature in the Chinese zodiac. And so we found new ways to socially outreach through, Zoom. And here we are with our big, Hollywood squares to, doing and celebrating significant birthdays through drive-by parades and teachers putting, happy graduation signs on people's front lawns. Just to, in my own family, knock on wood, everyone's been well, but I have an elderly mother. And, that new deep compassion, and I'm sure we're finding it in all different ways where it's really showing up or it's pressing. And for me, it's been the compassionate honoring of my mother, who again, health-wise is doing very well, but I worry and I get concerned that, I haven't been able to give my mom a hug since May 16th. We've learned new ways of, socially distance hugging, for the visits on the porch to the driveway and, hand, and, just really connecting in with those hugs. And our running joke is, bowing and saying, and what she dubbed Mama Stay. And my joke back is, that means Mama stay at home. But again, just different ways of connecting and just honoring and paying attention that it is a time to be gentle with each other as we ebb and flow and shift. And of course, in the year of the rat, it is an enormous time regarding health and regarding wealth. And, when I taught my big annual energy class back in January, which seems like a very, very long time ago, I knew it was going to be a big year. I didn't quite know just how big it would be, but it's big. And the areas where we really need to focus on, first of all, regarding health, are in the East. And we think the East is where the sun is rising in our home. And it is the area where we honor our health and we honor our families. So it is the health and the wellness of ourselves and the health and wellness and well-being of our families. And also we have to pay attention to the South also being an area that needs our attention regarding health this year. And typically the South, and think about it, it's where the 12 noon sun approximately is coming into our house. And the South typically is about what we'd say is our fame, our reputation, our standing in the community, what we're known for, or what we've worked so hard and long in life to achieve. And it's up for grabs right now. And the key things that I want to share with you regarding the East and the South are, number one, when we work with Feng Shui, we look at the extension of what can we do in our home to help maybe support it or shift it or change it or make ourselves feel a little bit better. So one of the things is in the East and in the South, we want to make sure we keep it clean, very, very practical. And we want to do a kind of a survey. Do we have any clutter in those spots? And, clutter in Feng Shui could potentially be seen as a roadblock. There's something that's coming up against us in our space. But one of the other tips and knowledge that's really, really important to share are these are areas of our home that we need to keep very quiet. We need to keep it on the stiller side. So what does that mean? It means these are not the spots this year to be doing big digging or renovation projects. And I know a lot of us are doing a lot of, projects and things around the house. Again, with some of us have this extra time on our hands. Otherwise, others are, in the trenches and they are going. And I certainly know that. But with the warmer weather coming, and hopefully in Buffalo that's sometime soon, a lot of us want to roll up our sleeves and garden. So one of the big tips for the year is if you can help it, please don't dig and please don't renovate and dig up the prize-winning rose bushes this year in the East or in the South. Again, we want to keep that energy a little bit more calm. And also, this is a spot we can strengthen it with some metal element this year. So I encourage you to go shopping in your own home. So in this East area, in the South area, maybe it's a bedroom for one, a kitchen for another, a den for someone else. What in your home can you bring into the East where that sun is rising, or in the South where this 12 noon sun is? Because the metal element this year in the East, in the South, it helps to strengthen the energy there, okay? So here's the deal. In Feng Shui, in any given year, it's never all good and it's never all bad. So we buzz about saying the yin and the yang. And there is opportunity this year. And the opportunity this year, and where we call the victory star is in the Northeast. And the Northeast in Feng Shui relates to knowledge and education, research, and the development of inner wisdom. And with this victorious energy, it's fascinating to me. And some of you have been taking classes with me for a long time. We buzz about this period of time called the period of 8. And period of 8 kind of replicates that knowledge, education, research, kind of being at the forefront. And here we are, right? I mean, not what we quite expected, but, you know, school kids having their school year dramatically put on pause, and they're not finishing it off in traditional classrooms, to teachers quickly scrambling to get kids into Google Classrooms, and workers, you know, trying to figure out how to work at home. And oh my gosh, some of us never even had an internet connection, let alone even thinking about being in a Google Hangouts meeting like I do with some of my colleagues here that I see on the call, you know, from Hunt Real Estate. So we can actually rise and become victorious in these different new ways that we're learning and connecting and growing. And some of my astrologer friends out there that I see on the call, they might look to something like Uranus in Taurus. So Uranus energy is like quick, suddenly something happens, and it also rules technology, but also in a very practical way. So you could say quickly, suddenly, like who saw this coming? We are all learning to connect and learn and grow in different ways. I mean, I remember participating in a women's conference just last fall, and we were trying to have a little conversation and, you know, do some, you know, meeting stats on Zoom, and none of us even know how to connect, right? So there is opportunity. And I think that with the inordinate amount of time that we've all been spending in our homes, we've all become very aware one way or the other about the energy in our homes. So some of you, I know it's been a blissful experience, and I've heard from some of you saying, oh my gosh, thank God I had, you know, my annual energy update before this all began, because my house does feel so good. It does feel so peaceful. And when you have some good feng shui, that can be how it feels. And then others of you maybe are newer to feng shui, but you know, like, oh my gosh, like something has to change here. So, you know, when this great pause, this stay-at-home orders began, I was contacted by the International Feng Shui Guild that I'm a member of. And they said, you know, what are you doing to support, you know, the health energy of your home this year? Right? Not this year, like now, like in the pause as we were going into it back in March, which again, seems like a long time ago. And I shared, you know, I was trying to do yoga on a good day and meditating like we just did a few minutes ago, and eating right, and getting power walks in, and making sure all of my feng shui was in place. And because to me, you know, when the going gets tough, you know, the tough get feng shuiing. So Kim, I know we'd love to hear how some other people are working through some of this energy, right?
Yes. Please type in the chat, how are you helping yourself to deal with the situation now? Can you type it in the chat for us? Gratitude journal and set my intentions for the day.
Love it.
Love staying home and doing all these Zoom classes. Starting projects I've been meaning to get to. Using the Northeast sector every day. Meditating and Qigong.
Right.
Self-care. I have never been more disciplined with self-care. It feels good to take time for me. Connecting with others, support groups, book studies. Taking more time for me. Lots of walks in nature. Practicing loving speech and reading spiritual books to stay in right mind and right action. Emotional processing and clearing. Doing my best to have a routine Monday through Friday. Looking at the weather to determine when I can walk for the day. Walks a lot and no TV. So if anyone would like to save the chat, you can click on the 3 buttons to the right-hand side, and any of us can share it as we go. Sometimes we learn as much from our fellow participants as our wonderful teacher today, Linda. We also have some questions, but I'm going to hold them for a few minutes, Linda, because I know you have some important announcements.
Sure. So now I would like to welcome you to Feng Shui Your World Reimagined. And this is an opportunity to really step into the period of 8 and this accelerated energy that we are in. And we are going to be offering online classes and support groups. And we are going to be expanding and doing more long distance consulting. A lot of my long distance consulting back in the old days was, you know, planes, trains, and automobiles, and some long distance Facebook video. I know Mevish here relocated to DC at the end of summer, so we got on Facebook video and did some compass reading ahead of time, looked at floor plans and consulted, but we'll be expanding that and bringing that more to people. But when this all began, you know, I quickly scrambled and said, oh my gosh, like, you know, how can I help? How can I serve? And, you know, how I show up in the world as a Feng Shui practitioner is through Feng Shui. So I quickly started doing some videos, and we started doing some videos on Facebook. So those of you who are on Facebook and have liked us on Facebook, you may have seen some of those go by. So they're to provide tips and inspiration and upliftment. And we had already started doing some Feng Shui Friday tips. And again, you know, we get inspired by, you know, what I see in some people's homes. And, you know, we share some, you know, different insight. And so, yeah, we're Feng Shui Your World on Facebook, and Kim has just pulled up that slide. And so again, here we are, and we are about to announce a whole new era for learning and knowledge and sharing. And I did a little brainstorm that I'd love to share with you, and then certainly I would like to hear from you. And Kim, maybe we could flip over to the next slide. And some of the brainstorm class ideas that I had, again, in this new era of online learning. And I will tell you, listen, folks, this is definitely a new era that we're in. But listen, we don't know what's going to happen out there. So this will probably be a blend of online for now, and maybe we continue to need it in the future. And, you know, if we can get back to some version of, we'll put quotes around normal, you know, and be socially distanced and safe, you know, we will see each other again. That is one of my goals. One of my clients called from the Southern Tier yesterday and said, I see what you're doing with that town hall. That sounds exciting. But when this lists, can you come help me with my new garage that I'm putting on my property? I'd really love to have you in person. And of course, whenever I can, I will. But here are some of my brainstorm ideas. And again, I'd love for you to share with us. So one of the brainstorm ideas is actually teaching a full class on Feng Shui for health. So we touched a little bit on, you know, the East sector, and the East being health and family. And again, huge topic of discussion. And just to give you a little snippet on Feng Shui, your whole life is mapped out throughout your physical space. But obviously, this is a very important and pivotal year. But to me, health is beyond, you know, adding the metal, very, very important though for this year. But what do I need to do to enhance that? But really looking at, you know, what are my aspirations for me and my family in my health sector? But it goes beyond that, because if you practice Feng Shui long enough, you know, practice, I happen to be a professional consultant, but again, practice, so many of you who've been taking classes with me since 2004 are in the practice of it. But ultimately, it becomes a lifestyle. So to me, this health class would probably evolve into mind, body, spirit, you know, what you eat and put in your body, et cetera, et cetera. So lots of fun things we could possibly explore. That's my brainstorm. Easy everyday space clearing. So a lot of you know about, you know, saging or burning incense, and some of you have that. Others, you know, don't even know what that's all about. But there are some easy tips to learn about how to intertwine it into everyday life when we are doing cleaning and clearing, and to really kind of upkeep the energy of your home. And that's something we've been practicing in my home for quite some time. And I'd love to be able to share some of those ideas, and potentially, you know, virtual vision boards. I think a lot of us have learned about, you know, ripping pages out of magazines and, you know, creating our goals and our aspirations, kind of like keeping the eye on the prize. Groups. So many of you years ago were with me at the Northeast Holistic Center, and we had our very first group there. We had our clutter clearing inspiration group. But I'm thinking about creating my very first Facebook group. And this would be a gathering of 20 for 21. So to me, that would be 20 minutes of clutter clearing for 21 days, because 21 days breaks a habit. So one of those videos that I did on Facebook was about clutter clearing and making some headway in your home with just 20 minutes a day. I know I've read a lot on Facebook and different forms of social media that a lot of people have been tackling and doing clutter clearing projects, but other people are feeling like, even though I have all this time, I don't even know where to begin. And to me, as a Feng Shui practitioner, you can begin to create clarity and open up those little roadblocks by even 20 minutes a day. So that's an idea. You know, we're talking a little bit about the year of the rat and how the energy changes in a given year, but the energy, honestly, it also changes every month. So possibly doing a monthly energy and meditation group. And, you know, maybe you just need a year of the rat support group to, you know, inspire and uplift each other. So it's my little ideas. Kim, would we like to see what's there in chat if anyone would like to offer something up?
So I'd ask everyone to please list in chat a few topics for future online classes that you feel would benefit you or others. Can you share any ideas with us? Agree with decluttering electronically.
Oh, Joanne, now that's an interesting one. I guess that could be taken two ways. To me, you know, decluttering electronically could be through that Facebook group that we could inspire each other, and I could give some, you know, Feng Shui coaching tips along the day. But I was also aware of decluttering electronically when I was preparing for my Zoom and realizing you have to get a lot of stuff off your desktop, because when I'm working, I like to pull a lot of things on my desktop. But electronic probably could be taken both ways. Yes. Yeah, Megan, exactly. For sure. And then the inordinate amount of time so many of us are also now spending on our electronic devices. Certainly that would be something to address in the health and Feng Shui class, about what to do with all this electronics that we're now even more surrounded by these days. Oh,
so
yes.
More on the year of the rat. Would like more info on the Northeast. Support group, just talking about what we're doing to utilize these tips, maybe one time a month to check in. Decluttering mind for better sleep. Creating good spaces for kids learning and schooling from home to help support them. Love the Feng Shui for health. How about a Zoom for decluttering? Love the ideas you listed. I've been really into decluttering my home for the past 2 weeks. Support to keep this up would be helpful. I think we meant decluttering, right, Lori? Decluttering, right. We're all struggling with that, I think.
Although people probably is some cluttering gathering happening too, but yeah, we're helping to empower you with decluttering.
Yeah. How do you like that? My cat wrote two words on the screen, Linda. Sorry about that. How to keep it clean. Reminder, how to eat an elephant one bit at a time. Adore the idea of 20 minutes for 21 days. Great. I think your ideas really resonated, Linda. Suggestions for colors for certain areas of your home, best for studying or sleep. Decluttering our car and more meditation. Great ideas. Great.
Decluttering the car, yes, absolutely. The car is a very important space. That is one of our personal container spaces for sure. And prior to the pause, I spent a lot of time in my car. So that would be a very interesting gathering and meeting or class to do on cars for sure. Great tips.
Feng Shui for traveling, for when we can travel again.
Jill, you inspired me. I see that was from Jill Chacha over at the Be Healthy Institute. I think about a month prior, Jill and her family were taking a road trip right around the time that I was going to Quebec. And she posted a great picture. There's a little guardian that you can use for travel. And again, we can definitely give you Feng Shui for travel when we can travel again. But it's called a piao, and she had her piao prominently displayed up on her dashboard, and I loved seeing it. But you know, yes, portable Feng Shui for sure, absolutely.
Garden and flowers around our home. I agree with Feng Shui for supporting kiddos. They are having such a tough time. The idea of a lot of people like the garden and flowers. So I think people are sharing both classes and groups. So that's perfect, Linda.
Wonderful. Megan, I want to make a comment about the kiddos. You know, take heart. I know they are. Maybe we could definitely expand on that in the future for everyone. But just like that energy in the Northeast that can be victorious, there actually can be very good energy to tap into and to help the kids and support them a little bit more. But there's a little fine yin line going through there. So we could all explore that in the future together. But do take heart. It can become a good year and a supportive year for sure. Remember, there's that yin and that yang as well.
Feng Shui for mental health as a subtopic. Great. Thanks everybody for your good ideas. So Linda, I think we'll go to the last slide.
Mm-hmm.
Your big announcement.
Thank you. So I have an exciting program launch online to announce. And I'm hoping out of the starting gate that we have a little bit of something for everyone. And it's starting with a week from today. And this is a little bit more of an advanced class, but it's going to be a year of the rat reboot. So it is going to be a revisit to look at those really big topics of health, of wealth and career, and what do we need to do, and really focus and hone in on those sectors, kind of like what I shared with you, what I did when the Feng Shui Guild asked me what I did. I rolled up my sleeves and really looked at those sectors. So kind of like a checklist, but really looking at it back now through a fresh set of eyes and in this new era that we're living in, and dialoguing about it and making sure that we're supportive. Now, this is also, it's going to be an interactive class. So it's just going to be a little bit longer than our town hall. It'll be an hour and a half, but it'll interactive, meaning you will actively be able to answer questions, and we'll dialogue together, support each other. So that's going to be a powerful class. So that's going to be a week from today. And there is a prerequisite to that. So you either have to have had, an annual update with me, taken, our big annual energy class at the Unity Church or at Be Healthy Institute, or having, taken a basics class. So you have to have a little bit of knowledge of that. Okay. But now our next offerings are going to be, initially speaking, at the last 2 Saturdays of May, and then 1 Saturday in June. And this is going to be for our new Feng Shui friends. It is going to be basically an introduction to Feng Shui. So it's Feng Shui essentials for your home and for your office. So it's going to introduce you to the background of Feng Shui, what it is, but it's also going to be like rolling up our sleeves and understanding what a big tool that we work with in Feng Shui called the Feng Shui Bagua map. And it looks like at how your whole life is mapped out throughout your physical space. And we'll have some fun, interactive, exercises for you to do at the end of just an hour of power on a given Saturday, and then come back and then get deeper into that Bagua. And I know some of the newbies, when they first maybe heard about the rat reboot class, said, oh my gosh, I really need to hear more about the rat, but I really don't know that much about Feng Shui. So what we decided to do is on that third class for the Feng Shui Essentials, we will add a year of the rat, kind of giving you tips and guidance and insight, just adding on to those layers of what you will have just learned through the Bagua map. And we're offering an introductory special rate for that. And, one of the opportunities with this marvelous period of 8, it's making it, someone had said they love all these online learnings and classes and Zooms and all that kind of stuff they've been on that maybe they've never had time to do before. And I think it's a really easy platform, right? You can get the kids a juice box, maybe, have them playing around in the backyard, or again, maybe that electronics, or on the iPad just for an hour. But different ways to get them, set up and be creative that, 5 minutes before you can hop on, and then, 1 hour later, you're off the call. So, part of the reason of, also re-establishing and reteaching, if you will, or offering the essentials is for the new people. We want to be able to get you up to speed, to be able to blend and enjoy and capitalize on some of these wonderful opportunities that everyone's been brainstorming on, and that will be certainly, taking under, consideration.
Great.
Are there any other questions that we could open and check in chat?
Yeah, we've got quite a few, Linda. We have one from Mevish. Should we begin with that?
Sure. You know what, can I address one question I just saw at the bottom of the screen? I mean,
sure.
Joanne asked a question. What if you can't attend? Thanks for asking, Joanne. So the beauty of this format is that even if you can't attend the reboot class, Joanne, you can sign up for the reboot class and we will send you the recording when it's available. And the same thing with the Essentials series. If you can't make one of the classes in the series, but you think it would really be beneficial to learn, again, at the end of each of the series of essential classes, we will have a recording, and then again, it will be emailed to you. Zoom usually takes a couple days for that cloud recording to download. But again, it's great because it's something you could, download to your desktop and you can rewatch it at your leisure or take it for the first time. Like for an example, if Joanne couldn't attend the reboot class. But great question. Thanks for asking. So Kim, I jumped you, so go ahead.
No, not at all. We had a question from Mevish. Hi, Linda. Last summer, we consulted over my new apartment in DC. Now that it's the year of the rat and we're focusing on compassion, what can I do to bring more compassion into my home?
Well, one of my favorite things to do is, when we were tapping into that compassionate energy in the meditation, one of my favorite things, and this would require having the object, but the actual stone of rose quartz crystal is actually considered to be a stone for love and compassion. So, some thoughts and theories regarding gemstones and crystals is that they have metaphysical properties. So it could be bringing some rose quartz crystal in. You might have that, Mavish. We might have used that in your initial consultation. So I would maybe move that rose quartz crystal into the north. And, we can also bring images or symbology to us, whatever represents love and compassion. So like in Feng Shui circles, I do get into a little bit of symbolic Feng Shui in certain levels. And the goddess Kuan Yin is considered the female embodiment of the Buddha. So it's very, very powerful to have an image of Kuan Yin, but it could be anything that's personal to you and your lifestyle and your culture. So I hope that gives you a couple of little tips and insight there. And, Nevish, you embody some of those beautiful qualities of compassion, but of course, yes, big year for us all to support ourselves a little bit better and easier, and however we need to uplift, certainly.
Linda, Mary Lou had a similar question. Can you let us know how you would conduct an annual energy consultation from a distance?
Yes. So great question, Mary Lou. So, we're talking a lot about this year of the rat energy. And so, some of my my long-term clients came to a big annual energy class in January, and they rolled up their sleeves and they learned all about the year. And, but a lot of what I do, or again, did right up until the pause and the stay at home, was I go in and out of people's homes and, make recommendations and guide them around the house on what specifically to do to help with that career, to fortify that, Northeast knowledge and learning sector, et cetera. But Mary Lou, I know that you're in Massachusetts, or again, any one of us, right? We're apart right now. So, all of my consulting right now is taking place electronically. So it would be a great time to do an annual update. So I have had the pleasure of working on Mary Lou's home when she moved to Massachusetts. She originally resided in the Buffalo area, and I actually physically went out and did that update. But again, already having the charts, all of the information on her home, we could do it through Zoom and Skype, or Facebook video. I mentioned Mevish, that's how we did her consultation back when she moved to DC. Or for anyone who's new to Feng Shui and saying, look, I live here in Buffalo, New York, and you can't come out and I need help. We gather some information ahead of time. I teach you and guide you through how to take a compass reading. And by the way, we have a great blog on that on our website, fengshuiyourworld.biz. And I have you either provide me with a floor plan or a little sketch of your home. And then we walk and talk through your home through the video. Now, some of you may say, listen, this is great that we can connect like this, but I don't necessarily, want, a video of my home or whatever. So we can do the old fashioned phone consultation, emailing documents, and just having a talk. So there's many ways, but Mary Lou, yes, absolutely. It's never too late in a year to fortify and boost the annual energy. I think I've done annual energy updates all the way till October in a given year. And just so you know what we mean by annual energy, any given year, the year of the rat, the year of the monkey, the tiger, etc., It always begins, it's marked by the Lunar New Year. So, you know, we are in this new rat cycle, but it actually began on February the 4th, and it will go all the way around for a 1-year cycle till February the 3rd of next year. So this imprint and energy needs to be supported between now and then. So yeah, very important, not too late. And I'm constantly, you know, refining and looking, what do I need to do? Because it can slip out of place for any one of us. So important, in my opinion.
Great. We have another question about, can you give us an update with what's happening in the real estate market? Some people may not know, but that's also another talent that you have.
That's been very, very interesting. So I think a lot of you know that I help people buy and sell homes with Feng Shui. And some of my wonderful Hunt real estate colleagues are on the call today. And it's been very interesting how it's been ebbing and flowing, and how we're considered essential or non-essential. And now we're essential, but we're essential at a distance. And as far as buyers go, and when we're working as buyer's agents, we are not allowed to enter into homes, neither as a buyer's agent or a buyer. We can only see and show homes electronically through, the biggest platform has been through Zooms and virtual open houses. And interestingly enough, when buyers go to make offers, and by the way, it's become multiple offers, because while we're in a spring market, it's not quite the spring market that we're all used to. There's less inventory in the market. So people who really need to buy a house, and we all need shelter, are going into multiple offers. And now the latest and greatest is you can make an offer on the house, and if your offer gets accepted, it is then through the attorneys that they put the buyer and the seller together with the seller's permission, and allow the buyer to go into the house and see the house for the very first time after they just bid on that $200,000 house in Buffalo, New York. And but not with their buyer's agent. The buyer's agent can only work behind the scenes and supporting them electronically, and, you know, guiding them throughout the whole process. And then sellers. So sellers, you know, it's deemed essential photographers being able to go in and photograph the home. And I think the latest and greatest is we are allowed to do that if need be with our clients, but there's some great, you know, 3D virtual tours that we can do for our people. And again, sellers, it can be a great time to sell because inventory is light. And so interesting, you know, interest rates are still great, so it hasn't stopped. But again, talk about learning curve. We've all been in a major learning curve in real estate. And yeah, for sure. Definitely a period of 8 in motion. And interesting, you know, real estate is earth, right? It's land, it's property, and the home element for real estate is earth element, and it would be very much associated with the Northeast. So, but lots of shifts and changes there.
So Linda, we had another question from Claire. Does the energy shift around the 4th of every month?
Great question, Claire. You would think it would, but some of my my long-term Feng Shui clients here that I see on the room actually do practice some of the monthly energy, and it doesn't always change on the same day every month. If I could do math in my head right now and think back in the calendar, today is the 9th. It shifted a couple days ago, so it was beyond the 4th. So every month it's a little bit different, but it's somewhere around the 4th. But great question, Claire. Great question.
And here's another one for I think the pros. Linda, where is the Grand Duke this year?
The Grand Duke. The Grand Duke is in the north. So where he's come in is that rumble, and the first rumble that is impacted is that north, that career, our work, our lifestyle. You know, that path, that journey. So yeah, he wherever that animal sign is, that is where there can be that, and certainly that's the first place that he showed up. So one of the tips with this Grand Duke energy, and it's, you know, it's the rat itself. One of the tips is that ideally we shouldn't sit facing north this year. It said that we're in really due north. So it said that we're confronting this big energy, but we can certainly dialogue more about that. So that's another tip for you. So, you know, we can all download free compass apps and get a sense of kind of, you know, north, south, east, west in our homes, but it's really due north. It's due north this year, but yes. And that's, you know, I mean, again, universally, it's fascinating, right? It's really impacting business across the board, or, you know, or people reinventing how they're reaching people. And, yoga studios like, Yoga Parkside, teaching wonderful classes online and still keeping that, connectivity and helping people keep in their routine in so many ways, or Be Healthy Institute, doing curbside pickups. By the way, we would get into more of this in another class, but, a piao is something that it's a little guardian creature that you can put in the north to help calm down this energy. So our wonderful partners over at the Be Healthy Institute in Hamburg are graciously doing curbside pickup and helping to support people well beyond the Feng Shui that they items that they carry in their place. They have some wonderful Mother's Day offerings, and so
Great. So I just want to remind everyone, I put a link in the chat where you can sign up for any of the classes. Some of the folks have been asking me, where can I sign up for the classes? So please feel free to click on that link. I know we're getting tight on time, and I want to make sure we're respectful of your time. So any question that we did not get to today, Linda will be happy to respond to and get back to you with an answer for. So again, thanks to everyone who asked a question, and we'll be glad to. There were so many that we couldn't get to all of them, but we will certainly get back to you via email for any we couldn't get to today. So I'm putting in the chat again, the link for you to sign up for any of the classes, but I know Linda will also be sending out some additional information.
can I make an announcement, Kim?
Please.
Yeah, so this is not really an announcement, but it's just a tip. So if anyone, as Kim said, that we couldn't get you into the chat, and if we don't happen to have your email, and I know some friends shared and forwarded the link. I was sharing with one of our new friends from Lockport before we got on the call that on my website, fengshuiyourworld.biz, but fengshuiyourworld.com will get you there too. We actually have a link that you could sign up for our newsletter to be notified about events, et cetera. So that would be one way I could, get your email address and be able to respond if you had a specific question that we couldn't get to today. So I just wanted to mention that. And of course, then we can get you a copy of the recording, because anyone here on the call today will be sending you a recording in one of our latest videos that we did that we think would be helpful with setting up the kiddos in their home study space, young and older college kids and of all ages. So yeah.
Great. So Linda, shall we do the last item on the agenda?
Yeah. So I would like to share with you one of my favorite ancient proverbs. And to me, it's really about the embodiment of Feng Shui. And it was really kind of the guiding fuel underneath my wings as I was starting my Feng Shui business and practice way back when in 2002. So I want to share it with you. When there is light in the soul, there is beauty in the person. And when there is beauty in the person, there is harmony in the home. And when there is harmony in the home, there is honor in the nation. And when there is honor in the nation, there is peace in the world. So namaste. And I want to say thank you so much for all of you being here today. I want to thank Kim-Marie McKernan, my wonderful moderator from Inspired Outcomes, and my Feng Shui team, Joanne and Kathy and Kelly, and some of my wonderful advisory board members that are here today. And to all the mothers out there, I want to wish you a happy, happy Mother's Day. And I hope to see you soon. Let us know how we can help. Have a great day.